November is always an exciting month for me because I love reading nonfiction, and so having a whole month dedicated to sort of not being like allowed or like given permission, but a whole month dedicated to the joy of nonfiction and sharing nonfiction with others is a great excuse. But it's also Netgalley November, so let's see what I'm going to read this month. Woo! Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week, and then movie reviews here at the weekend, although I have had a little break. I was away, didn't watch any new movies. I watched new to me movies on an aeroplane, but yeah, we've had a little break from movie reviews, but I'm going to be back into the swing of things next week with my movie review videos. But yes, I have some non-fiction things to tell you about that I want to read this month, and I have some Netgalley things to tell you about that I want to read this month. So I'm going to split it in half. We're going to do 4 and 4. I read 6 books in the month of October, so I'm like, having 4 non-fiction books and 4 Netgalley books to choose from, it's a pretty good thing. Plus, as of filming this, I've already started one of each of the books, so I'm like, we're kind of onto a roll here. If you haven't already seen my October TBR, this book was on there, so I will leave that linked up above because I talk a little bit more about it. But this is the one I have already started, not outside of November. I did save it for November in the end, which I talked about doing in that video. But this is The Twat Files by Dawn French. This book seems to be everywhere at the minute since I came back from the US. It's in all the supermarkets. And as you can see, I'm about 80 pages into it, I think. Yes, I'm on page 82. I literally just started reading it this morning, and as I said, it's kind of like little snippets and little essays, so it does go quite quickly. So I'm planning on possibly reading a little bit more of this today because I enjoyed reading it over breakfast, but basically sort of picking it up and reading it over breakfast this week. Then another book that I do actually have as a physical copy. I ordered this because I saw it A, on offer, and B, a gorgeous special edition similar to a special edition that I purchased another book by this writer before, and this is Rambling Man by Billy Connolly. My life on the road, and you can see it's a special edition because it says Waterston's exclusive. It's got some black spreaders, but also, rather than just a spread on this side, it's signed on this side, which matches my other Billy Connolly that I read, I think, 2 years ago in November 2021 for Nonfiction November. And this one has this little quote from it on the back. It says, "I've met the weirdest and most wonderful people who walk the earth, seen the most bizarre and the most fantastic sights, and I've rarely come across something I couldn't get a laugh at. I don't think I've ever had a bad trip, well, apart from in the 1970s, but that's a whole other story." And I've seen people talking about how much they love the sort of Glasgow aspect of this book as well, which, in case you didn't know, massive fan of Glasgow. But I'm just going to show you the end pages because I love the end pages. But basically, yeah, this special edition one was half price on Waterston, so I was on there buying a present for somebody else, but a present for myself. So there's the naked cover. There's him and his banjo there. And then if you open it up, you'll see glorious end pages there. Absolutely stunning. So I have downloaded the audiobook of this one because it is narrated by him, I think. Don't want to but normally I enjoy listening to these memoir type of things, as the other end pages are. Billy Connolly. On audio, so I'm going to listen on audio because that will be good. But yes, my second non-fiction read for November. And then the other 2 I have either requested from my library on audio, and it looks like they might be coming up in time for non-fiction November, or I've gone ahead and gone, well, this is never coming up in time for non-fiction November, but I really want to read it because everybody's talking about it. 2 memoirs that everybody's talking about. Firstly, we have the Britney Spears, there's me, the Britney Spears memoir, The Woman in Me, which there's no way to get this non-shiny down. Nope. Oh, no, there's the window. Look. But yes, everybody's talking about this one. I have purchased it from Audible because my library hold was coming up in 3 or 4 months' time. So that's not going to happen in time for non-fiction November. And I want to hear the gossip. I really want to hear the gossip. And then another one which may come up in time, I don't know. So I haven't bought this one, but it's still on hold with my library. But this one is Worthy by Jada Pinkett Smith, which everyone is also talking about. Like when I was out in Denver, they were talking about it on the news, the actual news still. So excited to read this one. But I do not fret. I do have a whole collection of non-fiction reads that I've bought when they were on sale on Audible, also on my like Libby wish list and my Hoopla wish list, that if I am stuck for another non-fiction read to listen to this month, I will find some on there. But those are basically my sort of 4 non-fiction choices that I have for the month of November. Then we have my Netgalley reads. Now, one of these, again, I did 2 of these actually were on my October TBR. So again, I'll leave that linked in the end screen in case you haven't seen it. But one of them I went ahead and just ordered on audiobook because I listened to the first one on audiobook and I listened to the like book 1.5 on audiobook in the month of October in readiness for listening to this one. Again, I had a hold in my library. It's taking a million years to get, so I just bought it on Audible. And that is helpful if I showed you it, wouldn't it? Oh, I've lost it now. Where's it gone? Here we are. Is a Jolly Holly Ever After by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I'm really in the mood for listening to this now as well. A, because it's festive and all the Christmas decorations are everywhere at the minute. And also B, because I did listen to Snow Place Like LA. This is a spoiler for my October wrap up. And I'm kind of in the mood to get back into these characters again, and so I don't know anything about the characters in this one. I'm assuming we're going to maybe meet some new characters or revisit some characters we have already met, so I'm excited to listen to this one. And that is a book that I got from Netgalley and was supposed to read in the month of October. Yes, then we have another book that I got from Netgalley. Now, this doesn't come out until the 15th of February next year, but I am very excited to read it because I've heard lots of people talking about it and they sent me a physical copy, which is why I put it on my October TBR as well, because generally if they send me a physical copy, a nice floppy physical copy, then I'm more likely to read it. But it might be nice to kind of snuggle down and read this one on one of the weekends in November, so maybe next weekend. We have The Happiest Ever After by Millie Johnson. What if you could write your own perfect storyline? And I'm kind of excited to read this one. I read the blurb of it in my previous video, so I'll sort of link you back to that one again, sorry. But yeah, people are talking about it. I'm excited to kind of read it and write my review. And so I did get it on Netgalley, but then they sent me a physical proof. I know it's not released until next year, but still looking forward to reading it. So there's 2 of my Netgalley reading that I have sort of on the list. Then we have another one, which you will know that I'm partway through, but I have requested... It's a little repetitive, this video. I have requested the audiobook from my library, but I am slightly closer to getting this one. It's a bit more imminent than the others. And because I'm already at 50% of it, I'm like, well, as long as I sort of actually listen to the audiobook, it's just going to be a really quick read. So we have the rest of the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Look, it matches my earrings. It also matches my top, but you can't really see much of my top. My top says pumpkin spice and everything nice on it. But yes, the rest of the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, of which I have read 50%. I think I'm even at like 52%. And I read like the first 52% during the August bout of books. So how have I not finished reading this in November? Because I keep forgetting about it. So we need Netgalley November in order to kind of rein me in a little bit and remind me of the books that I do need to read that are on my Netgalley shelf and that are on my physical bookshelf, non-fiction books that are on my physical bookshelf. And then what I did was I just added a 4th book from my Netgalley shelf onto here. This is another one that isn't released until next year, but it's on my Netgalley shelf So I popped it on here, so I had 4 of each because we like a bit of symmetry. We like a bit of evenness and fairness between Nonfiction and Netgalley parts of November. So here we have Token by Beverly Kendall. Again, it's just a bit too dark for me to show without showing me my whole sort of setup. That's the window. We'll just shine it up. No, that's it. Just this is probably the best you're going to get. So then this one is, it's got flirty banter, deep emotions, and smart, sassy heroine. I mean, what more could you want than that in a book? But again, I'm seeing loads of people talking about this one, and so I'm like, oh, I've got intrigue. I want to read it now. I want to be one of the people talking about it. So that's why it's made it into my 4th Netgalley slot on this Nonfiction Netgalley November TBR. So there you have it. As always, I can't promise that I'm going to read all of these. I can't promise that I'm not going to divert from the TBR if something else comes off of hold on my library audiobook hold list, or if something pops up on Hoopla or Audible. Who knows? So these are the 4 Nonfiction and 4 Netgalley books that I have to choose from. As I say, partway through a couple of them, so we're off to a good start, and I have a physical copy of 3 of them. So that's giving me the best start to the month as well. Please do let me know in comments what you are going to be reading. Are you doing Nonfiction November? Are you doing Netgalley November? Or are you just not reading this month and doing NaNoWriMo instead? Remember when I used to do that? I have several partly finished novels. They're not going anywhere. So yes, do let me know in comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell, because as I mentioned at the beginning, another movie review video coming your way very soon. There is a new Marvel movie out this weekend. So excited. And I've got a couple of limitless screenings coming up as well. And then also my October wrap-up is going to be coming your way, which if you have watched my October TBR, you'll be looking forward to watching that one to see what I got to in the month of October even. So yes, I will be back with that October wrap up and that movie review video for you very soon. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Woo!